Hi there, thanks for watching our monthly updated real estate statistics video. I'm here again with Bill Nonica at Integrity First Mortgage. And I also invited special guest, my fellow agent Sharon Sadi. Later on in the second part of the video, Sharon and I will discuss everyone's concerns about discounted brokerages. Many of you have reached out to me and inquired about these companies, and instead of answering to each inquiry, I thought of creating this video and hope to answer all your questions, and also you can share it with your friends and family, okay? But first, let's start with the month stats. Again, these stats are for the entire San Diego County, so every neighborhood is different. So if you want to know about about the sales in your specific neighborhood, please let me know. I'll be more than happy to send you some great info. So as we suspected, prices continue to rise in January, and the median sales price was up about 6.8% to $595,000 for detached homes and about $409,000 for attached homes. Days on the market has decreased to 14% for detached and 15.6% attached. Inventory is down to about 19% overall, and we have less than 2 months supply of inventory for both attached and detached. In order to have a balanced market, we need at least 6 months of inventory. So I know it's still a seller's market, but I'm not sure how long that's gonna last because rates have gone up, and I think it will also continue to rise this year. So usually when rates increase, the buyer's buying power decrease, and this will also affect the sellers because sellers will have to reduce their asking price since buyers can no longer afford to pay more. Speaking of rates, Bill, will you let us know what's going on in the mortgage industry?
Absolutely, thanks Jessica. Yeah, as we predicted before, rates have gone up. We've hit that magic 5 number that everybody was a little bit concerned about. But I'm urging everybody to remain calm in the face of this increase and think more about the budget that you have for your monthly housing payment. Let's work backwards from that instead of getting petrified by a number of a rate. Everyone has a budget for what they want to spend on their house. Work with a qualified lender. I would love to help. Using that budget, we'll work backwards and find that perfect purchase price for what you want for your dream home. We're now starting to see a lot more inquiries for adjustable rate loans. These are loans that have a fixed rate for a period of time, say 5 years, and then start to adjust after that, giving the market some time for the 30-year fixed to come back down. So I'd be happy to help you. Give me a call or a qualified lender, and let's get you into a home.
Okay, sounds good. So let's talk about all these online companies and these new discounted brokerages that you see advertising out there. Due to antitrust laws, we cannot disclose the names of these companies, but I'm sure you know who they are. About a few weeks ago, a buyer asked me if I could discount my commission to 1% since other realtors out there are offering it, and I sent her a really lengthy email, but I just want to break it down to you guys. There are three main reasons why an agent would offer you their commission. Number one is that they are part-time agent with a full-time job, so they don't really care. They don't even have time to work on your behalf, show you properties, answer your questions since they have a full-time job. And since they're getting paid at the current company that they work for, they don't care what the commission is going to be, right? The second thing is they are desperate for your business. So they must be very new to the industry, and they don't care. So they don't care what the commission is, they just want business, so they're starving. The third reason is that they are weak negotiators. Imagine this, if they're willing to cave in and offer you their commission up front, what do you think they're going to do when it's time to negotiate for you as a buyer or as a seller? I don't think that's gonna work out to your best interest, actually. So that buyer ended up choosing me, even after all that, choosing me to be their agent because they understand the value I bring to the table. So back to this discounted brokerages, they're just out there. They're everywhere now. And Sharon has been doing some research these past couple of days on these new companies that just pop up, and it's concerning. It's concerning for the consumers, and it's also concerning for us as well. And we're here to answer your questions and to educate you on why these companies are doing this and why it's actually very dangerous if you decide to work with them. Okay, Sharon, can you share with us what you found out?
Yeah, I've done some research, and it seems to be there's two different strategies with discount brokerages. One would be a company that's main goal is to have 100% sales be dual agency. Dual agency is when an agent represents both the buyer and the seller. Now, as realtors, Jessica and I have both found ourselves in a dual agency situation from time to time. They can work out, but they can be very dicey. We have a fiduciary responsibility to our clients, and it's very hard to be fair and negotiate aggressively for both the buyer and the seller when we represent all parties. Another example of dual agency would be two different agents on a transaction that work within the same company. That would be if Jessica had a listing and I had the buyer for her listing. That's a different type of dual agency, and that can also work out well because we're both representing our own clients. Yeah. The problem that I see and the concern I have is when these discount brokerages, and they are out there, are focusing 100% of their business model on doing all dual agency. This means they are not putting your listing, your home sale in the MLS, which means they are excluding all the other agents in San Diego County from participating with their buyers in the transaction. Their goal is to just put your listing on Zillow and all the other search engines in hopes that they will also attract a buyer to represent in that transaction. The concern with this is you are not being represented and getting probably the best terms and price for the sale of your house. When a discount company focuses solely on dual agency as their business model, you're also setting yourself up to be extremely vulnerable to litigation in the future. Lawsuits can arise all the time, especially in California, and even the agents with the best integrity and know-how can find themselves in situations that arise from dual agency. So you really, I don't advise using a company where that's their sole business model. Another thing I found out was there's also companies that are self-automated, where they're encouraging you to book your own showings, which is a pitfall because you want to have somebody like Bill who's had them pre-qualified, and you know that you're not just having strangers traipse through your house. With discount brokerages that encourages self-automated model and advertising bottom of the barrel listing sales fees, they are going to have to generate a high quantity of transactions instead of quality. So they're going to forego quality for quantity. So when you're out there and you're trying to sell your house, you want an agent that can take the time to negotiate on your behalf. If I have to run around and get 40 other clients to compete, I'm not going to have time to negotiate for you. And so that's where the self-automation models are encouraging you to pretty much do your own work. For example, if I had a listing and I had a buyer's agent call me with, let's say, a lowball offer, I'm going to take the time to educate them on the comps that I have, and we are going to work together to come to a fair compromise for everybody involved. If you're doing everything yourself with the discount brokerages, you're not going to really be prepared to handle that. Another thing is I found out that these discount self-automated brokerages are encouraging you as the seller, once you're in your transaction on your home, to talk to the buyers directly. Once again, the reason is they're putting quantity over quality, so they want you to do this work. I would never advise a seller to speak directly to a buyer. It's all great in the beginning when you accept their offer and you get to move on and they get to move into your house. It's all a feel-good moment. Down the road through the transaction, the buyer's going to have a home inspection done on your home. You've spent years in your home, you take pride in it, you feel like you've done the best improvements and things to make your home desirable to someone else. It's a reflection of you. Your home is a reflection of you. So when you get a home inspection report back on your home, and there's all these things that the home inspector have called out as wrong on your home, you're going to start to take it personally. And is that really the time you want to keep dialogue going with a buyer who's now just told you, they think this, and this is wrong with your home based on a home inspection report? No, this is the time you want to have a qualified realtor who has gone through this process over and over and over again and can be the buffer and take that high emotion out of it for you and make it a stress-free transaction that's going to continue to proceed till the end and have a successful closing.
And we've been selling real estate for both of us over several decades now combined, and not all transactions are like, and it's not, problems don't come up just during the repairs, right?
That's right.
During the inspection, it comes up with title, with zoning, with disclosures,
Terms.
and terms and conditions. There's just so many of them out there, and you need a real live real estate professional to help you to resolve all these issues and to have the logic and the tenacity to get around all these issues and to resolve it on your behalf, versus putting in the problem into an automated system and you expect them to help you solve the problem.
Yeah.
How do you expect someone to just read through what's wrong with the house
Like
and
in a
provide,
call center.
Yeah, in a call center, yeah, and provide you advice? I don't recommend that at all,
No, and Jessica's right. There's a lot of terms that come up. It's not just price. There'll be terms where sellers need to have a seller rent back. Are you going to pay rent for those days you're staying in the home? Are you going to pay the utilities? How is that seller rent back money going to be held? Is it going to be held in escrow? Is it, there's other terms. That's just one example, but there's, and I mean, in one transaction, you're going to have
a lot of issues.
well, and you're also going to have about 200 to 300 pieces
Items
of
that you
documentation
do.
and paperwork. That's not something I don't think you want to do on your own through an automated process online. Once again, you leave yourself at risk for potential litigation and not getting the best deal that you can, the highest price for your home, and terms that work for you.
And a lot of times problems come up after you close the property. So imagine that discount brokerage is no longer in business. Who do you go to for help? I know back in the 90s, there's this one company, I won't mention any name, but they charge 1% to list your house. Guess what? They're no longer the business. So when problems come up, who do you go to? They're no longer around. So it's very important for you to use a realtor and a well-named brokerage who's going to be there for you when things come up after they close.
Yeah,
as well.
That's true. And lastly, I'd like to say that, Jessica and I, we do offer competitive sales incentives for our clients without sacrificing the actual hard work it takes to have a successful closing on your home.
Yeah, so.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I did want to add one thing to that, guys. They mentioned that every transaction is different, and it's true. But there's one thing that's constant that I have seen in doing this for over 25 years. Yes, I'm that old. That buyers and sellers have so much on their plate already with the documents to sign and the utilities that have to be taken care of, cable, moving companies. Do you really want to take on additional work that should be being done by a professional? So call one of these amazing realtors that you see on your camera right now and let them help you.
Great. Well, thanks for watching, and call us if you need anything. Thanks. Bye.
Thanks.